in Medicine Workshop series organized in accordance with MedX23, Sri Lanka's first ever healthcare ideathon. Having successfully concluded our second workshop on how to decide the feasibility of your idea, we are thrilled to have you back with us today as we embark on the final phase of our journey. In today's workshop, we will delve deep into the scientific research process. Our final workshop is designed to give an introduction on writing a good quality research paper, as it is an essential component in completing the final project proposal to be eligible for MedX23. So this workshop will equip the participants with an extensive insight into competition requirements and will undoubtedly assist the medical undergraduates in their degree program. Moreover, we'll guide you in the critical task of finding suitable venues for publishing your research. Choosing the right platform ensures that your work reaches a broader audience, leaving a lasting impression in the scientific community. It is with great pleasure that we introduce our distinguished speaker for the day, Professor Ruwan Gopura, the founding head of the Department of Medical Technology of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Mortual. Professor Gopura, holding a PhD in robotics and intelligent systems, brings a wealth of expertise to our session today. His remarkable contributions to the field include the development of the first ever robotic prosthetic arm in Sri Lanka in 2016 and creating the first ever lower extremity exoskeleton robot in 2017 in collaboration with his research team. Professor Gopura has been honored with the Award of Excellence for Outstanding Research Performance at the University of Mortual for 10 consecutive years. He served as a former chairperson of the IEEE Sri Lankan section. Notably, he is also an esteemed alumnus of the University of Moratuwa. Sir, we are truly privileged to have you here with us today, and we eagerly anticipate the valuable insights you will share as we delve into the exciting world of medical technology. If you have any questions regarding the topics discussed in the workshop, please feel free to submit them through the provided link in the chat or simply type them in the Zoom chat. Your questions will be answered in the Q&A session. Now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming our esteemed speaker tonight to proceed with the session. Professor Gopura, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Let me share the screen first. Right, hope you can see the shared screen as well.
Yes, sir, the screen is visible.
Right, thank you very much again for the nice introduction. So, this MedX competition, as the company mentioned, you are in the third workshop, Tech in Medicine third workshop. Today we'll be discussing about the introduction to research publications. As I have discussed with one of your colleagues, some of the participants in this workshop are not familiar in research. So therefore, first what I will do is, I will briefly introduce about the research process, and then we'll be discussing about the publications, what is a research publication, and then we will discuss about how to write a good publication. What are the essential characteristics of a good publication? Right. So I'm using some slide from the mentioned persons, Professor Sanat Javardhan and Dr. J.R. Gamage. So some of their original content I have been using several workshops. So this one as well, I am using their original content. Right. So then, right. So the MedX ideation, as I have discussed with one of your colleagues again, what she has mentioned is the aim of the MedX ideation is to derive a solution for real-world problem faced by medical practitioners. And in this competition, ultimately you have to submit a 5 to 10 pages report. And then the report should consist of the problem statement and methodology and comparison of your new idea with the existing product, processes, and devices, and then the conclusion. In order to cater the expectation of the objectives of the competition, I will first discuss about the what is research or what is research and design, because so this is organized by the IEEE EMBS, Engineering, Medicine and Biology Society, which consists of engineers, technical people, IT professionals, as well as medical professionals. So when you do any kind of a project in EMBS or EMBC, Engineering, Medicine and Biology Society, so you should not focus only on one area. One area, what I mean as one area, only engineering, only medicine, or only IT or other technical related things. When you organize this kind of ideation or competition, you should focus on multidisciplinary areas, combination of engineering, medicine, and other related areas. So therefore, I sincerely hope that in this ideation, so the participants will bring ideas not only related to one area, but also the multidisciplinary areas, combination of engineering, medicine, biology, and related fields. So, and then by keeping in mind that, I hope that once again, you will come up with the multidisciplinary type of projects or ideas, not only in one areas. Like in medicine, you have community medicine research. Focus only the community medicine area. Unlike that kind of research or designs, so in this case, we hope that you will bring the multidisciplinary projects, which include sometimes research, sometimes design, sometimes combination of research and design. So then I mentioned the term design, research, and projects. So then we will look at how those things are combined. What is a research? What is a design? What is a project? Right. So in this workshop, first what I will do is I will briefly define a research, a project, a combination of research and project, and then what is a design. First we will discuss about that, and then we will discuss about research writings or design related writing. So when you start or initiate a research, you should have some kind of writings, and during the process you should have another kind of writing, and at the end of the research or the project you should write, which mainly focus on the publications. So in this case, even though we will mainly focus on research publication, we will start from initiation of the research project or design. At the initial stage, what are the writings you have to do? At the middle or during the research or the project, what are the writings you have to do? And then at the completion of the project or the research, what are the things you have to do? So we will discuss those things. Right. So then research and project. Sometimes we call research project. Sometimes we call design project. Any idea about the difference between research and design? Anyone can explain? I hope that here we have student from not only the student from University of Morocco Medical Faculty, but also from other faculties, and also some other students or the participants who are not non-medical as well. Any idea what is a research and what is a project? What is the difference? Right. So during this discussion, right? So if you have any time, if you have question, you can ask. At the same time, I'll ask time to time questions, so you have to answer. Otherwise, we will not have a kind of interaction. Right. Anyway, so we will move forward. A research and project. What is a research and what is a project? So then, what is a project? We will start from a project. Right. So project. So I have given some definitions and the features of the project. If I start from the first point, a temporary endeavor taken to create a unique product or service. Unique product or service, sometimes unique product or service or process. So the specialty of a project, you should know the project deliverables or the output or the project path and project time scale. So those are known, those are planned. So as example, now I have given few examples. Constructing a house or factory, shopping mall. So when you construct a house, first we go to the architect, and then architect draw the house plan, and then if required, we will get the municipal council the site plan approved, and then based on the architect plan, after the approval, what we will do is we will start the constructing house, that project, and then usually we know the time scale, we know even the cost as well, rough cost. So those kind of processes we can identify as a project. So you know the ultimate output, ultimate deliverable, which has clear objective against a time scale. So project, defined purpose is there, unique or defined purpose is there, temporary undertaking, and time bounded. So you know the time scale, you know. So you can clearly draw the Gantt chart. Draw Gantt chart. Each and every time scale, what is the milestone you can identify. That is a project. So constructing a house or constructing a bridge is a project. So then what is a research? Right. Research, now say you construct a bridge, and then because of a failure of a nut and bolt in that bridge, the bridge collapsed. So the constructing of a bridge is a project, but identifying what are the reasons for failure of that nut and bolt might be a research, right? Might be a research. Now, if you construct a bridge which has clear objective, clear path is there, time scale is there, it's called a project. But because of a failure of that or similar kind of bridge, because of failure of the nut and bolt, reason for identifying the nut and bolt's failure can be a research. So usually project has project life. So initiation, planning, execution, and completion. So research, sometimes we will not have clear objectives. We know the area only. We know the area. We might have some time, but time can be changed drastically. We know the clear path in the project, but research, we do not know a clear path. So sometimes in the projects also, we have to do some research component. So especially this kind of a project, so you how to do literature reviewing, that is understanding what is the situation or what is the knowledge available in your topic, which is called literature review. So those are some activities related to research is also carrying out during the projects as well. So the research tries to investigate new findings, but project not new things, usual things carried. So research, we can say as careful study or investigation, especially in order to discover new facts or information. While discovering new facts or information, what we will do is we will first look at the existing knowledge related to that area. Existing knowledge, we will look at the existing knowledge. Based on the existing knowledge, we will try to find a research gap. We will try to find research gap, and then we will try to fill the gap that we call the research. So research we can define in many ways. The second point, you can see a voyage or discovery, a journey, an attitude, an experience, a method of thinking, a careful critical inquiry in seeking facts or principles. So different types of research are also available. The scientific research is very important one, where we will use scientific knowledge and we will use scientific method. So in your case also, in this competition, while you are doing the competition, so it might be a combination of research and project. Even in the research part, so you have to use scientific knowledge, and when you do the research, you have to follow the scientific method. Scientific method, any action or any finding, anything, you should have a reason. You should have a reason. So if in a technical report or technical writing, even in a research publication, if you state any sentence, either the content of the sentence is obvious or the content and the meaning is proved from some other person, or if they have not proved, if it is not obvious, you have to prove in your research. So then it is very important when you're writing a research publication or research report, you cannot write as you want. Either it should be obvious, what you write is obvious, or it has proved by some other researcher or some other person. If it has proved, you have to give the citation or the reference. If not, if you state something, you have to prove it experimentally, theoretically, or any other means. You have to prove that. Right. So there are different definitions of the research: an organized, systematic, database, critical, objective scientific inquiry. So the important thing is scientific inquiry or investigation into specific problem. Research problem is there, undertaken with purpose of finding answer or solution. So there are different definitions. So we will not go to deep into the definition, but research. So unlike in projects, you might not have very clear objectives, but you know some kind of target or some kind of area you are working. So goal of research: establishing facts, analyzing information, reaching new conclusion. All right. So in our case, in the research, we are using scientific method. So different type of research are available from the viewpoint of application, objectives, and inquiry mode. Application, we have pure research and applied research. Pure research usually derive the theories, and then from those theories we can create some application, product or service or some application using the applied research. And based on the objectives, we can have descriptive research, exploratory research, correlational research, explanatory research. Likewise, different types of research are available based on inquiry mode, qualitative research, and quantitative research. Right. So I will briefly go through this type of research. So why I wanted to go through these types when you do your work, even in this competition. So you should understand what type of research you are carrying out. Based on the type of research, so you should know what are the methods that can be used to carry out or attain your objectives. So pure research versus applied research. Pure research primary objective is to advancement of knowledge, specifically theoretical understanding, theoretical knowledge. And then applied research, based on the available theories, so you develop methods, techniques, specific objectives, specific product, which can be used or which can be applied for the human being or the animals. So this is based on the application, PO and applied, and then based on the objectives, descriptive research, correlational, exploratory type of different type of research are available. So I'm not going to go detail in each. And so descriptive attempts to describe systematically a situation, problem, or phenomena. Situation, problem, or phenomena. Try to describe in descriptive research. Main objective is to describe a phenomena or problem. Then correlational, finding the relationship, correlations. Discover or establish the existence of relationship, association, interdependency between two or more aspects of situation or phenomena. First one is try to describe the phenomena. Then second one, the identify the relationships between two of you phenomena. And then explanatory research, and why and how the relationships between two phenomena are there. So if you start from the first, describe the phenomena, find the relationship between two phenomena. Then third one, why and how the relationship between two phenomena is there. The last one, exploratory research, is to explore an area where little is known. We know we do not know many things about that area. We are going to explore that area. So that we call the exploratory research. Right. So then these some details of different types are available. So I'm not going to go into detail, but I will share you the slideshow. If you are interested, you can go through it. So this is exploratory, and then third type of research is based on inquiry mode, quantitative research and qualitative research. So based on the name, also you can identify. Quantitative research tries to quantify the variation in a phenomena, situation, problem, or issues. So the qualitative research, qualitatively describe the phenomena. So if you take one research, so that can be either PO or applied. The same one can be based on the objectives, either descriptive, exploratory, correlational, or explanatory, or The same can be based on the inquiry mode, quantitative research or qualitative research. Right. Right. So the type of just give me a second. Right. So we can compare the type of research in this way based on the aim, main theme, type of research. So when you do a research, very important thing is novelty of the work. Research even in the design, the novelty or the originality. What is new of your work? What is the novel contribution? What is the original work of your research or design? Or in this case, your idea. What is the originality? So originality is very important when you work with new ideas. So originality can be defined in many ways. Originality is original idea or novelty. What is new? What is novel contribution of your work? So novelty is defined in this way, saying something nobody has said before. Something nobody has said before, but you have to prove that it is correct. So we can tell many things which are not true or correct. But if it to be original, it should be correct, and it should have not been said previously any other person. So saying something nobody has said before, we call one of the point of originality. So the second one is carrying out empirical work that has not been done before. Some work that has not been done before. And then synthesizing something that has not been put together before. What is synthesizing? If the same area people have done different kind of a work, so considering those work as a coherent whole, if you can do some new thing, that we call synthesizing. Different things are available, but you will take those together and find new things, or say some new thing nobody has said. Likewise, we can define the originality or the novelty. So if you want to publish a research finding, it should have original contribution. It should have original contribution. Otherwise, the conference or the journal or the book will not accept your work. In order to accept the work, you should have original contribution. That's why originality is important when you do a research. If you want to publish, original contribution is there. Usually we ask what is the novelty. Even in research or in some kind of designs also, we ask what is the original contribution, what is the novelty. So likewise, we can have different ways to define the originality. So if you take the fourth one, making a new interpretation of someone else's material or ideas. Material and ideas are available. What you will do is, so you will interpret it in a different way, new way. So likewise, if you take the fifth one, taking a new technique and applying it to an existing area. So there are novelties in the technique. So taking a new technique, applying the existing area. Next one is taking an existing technique and applying in the new area. Likewise, we can define the originality, right? Right. So why I wanted to mention originality, if you want to publish, you should have original contribution. Otherwise, No journal conference will accept your work without a original contribution or novelty. Right. So we are discussing about research now. We started from the project, and then we mentioned that projects and research are different. Sometimes in this kind of ideation, it can be combination of research and project. Even in some project, research contribution should be there. So research, we use scientific method. Scientific method or scientific research should have essential characteristics. So these are some of the characteristics. Purposiveness, there should be a purpose of your work. Rigor, method should be precise. That we call the rigor, scientific rigor. And testability. So if you have done the work, it should be testable. Someone can test the same thing, and it can be replicable. Can do the repetition, and precision and confidence should be there in the results, and objective should be there, and the work you have done should be able to generalize. Likewise, there are different characteristics of the scientific research. Purposiveness, research should be started with definite aim and purpose. Rigor. A theoretical base and sound methodological design should be there. Precise method should be there, that we call scientific rigor. Strict precision should be there. And testability, if it is hypothesis should be testable. And replicability. So the same work using same method should be able to do some other person. Repeating the research. Precision and confidence should be there in your results, and there should be objective and generalizability. Right. So those are the some facts related to scientific research. Right. So then we will move on to research process. Usually research process start preliminary literature review. So then you know the term preliminary, then you should know the term literature review. What is literature review? Literature review. So we will discuss what is literature and review. You know what is review. So then you should know what is literature review. Usually literature means findings that have been done previous, which are available as research publications like conference papers, journal papers, book chapters, or books. So initially, if you want to start a research, you have to do some work, preliminary study, preliminary literature review. From that, you can understand what kind of research problem is there. And from that, you can formulate the research problem or research questions. And based on that, you can develop research objectives and research proposal. So I think in your case, in this competition or the MedX ideation, so you will go up to the proposal level, right? Isiri, you will have only the proposal, right?
I'm listening.
At the end of this competition, the participant should give a 5 to 10 page proposal, right? So, but research will not stop at that level, right? So, if you yeah, I want to take an example. What is the example? So I hope you know about almost all of you know about inhalers, right? So there are different type of devices to different type of devices used for the inhale, right? I don't know the names, but there are different shapes and size of devices with mouthpiece and some small ones. Because the different devices are available. So if you want to develop a new type of inhaler which can give a good flow to the patient, we'll take this as an example. So the existing, we will, for the moment we will assume that existing inhaler issue is the flow, airflow, right? When the patient inhale, the flow is the issue. So, and also not mixing the medications. So then if you want to consider this kind of area, first what you will have to do is you will have to do the preliminary literature review, right? So then you will study about the available inhalers, their flow patterns, type of medication used with these different type of inhalers. So then from that, you can identify exactly what are the issues or the problems available of these inhalers. And then if you identify a problem or issues, from that you can derive a research problem. And then from that you can derive your research objectives, right? Say the mixing is the with the flow mixing of medication is say as the research problem. So then based on that you should have objectives. So develop the inhaler to have proper mixture. In order to do that, you have to think about the airflow and the shapes and size of this unit. Likewise, first you have to study about the preliminary literature review and then identify research problem, then develop a research objectives and research proposal. Research proposal consists of many sub elements. We will discuss those later. And then conduct a proper literature review and then determine the research design and then follow the research process if you want to do the designs and then do the experiment and then do the simulation. And sometimes based on the research, you have to collect the data and analyze the data. And after that, you have to do the conclusion and at the end, publishing. Right? Publishing. So what the now in this workshop topic is introduction to research publication. So usually research publication is this the end point, right? At the completion of the research, you will publish. So this is the initial step. But in your case, even though we use the term research publication, this is the initial stage research proposal. So in your case, in your case means in this competition, the proposal is considered as a publication, but usually publication is at the completion of the research. Right. This is the research process starting from the preliminary literature review, then conceptualization, identify the research problem, and then proper literature review, data collection, and ultimately writing of the publication. Right. So what you want to understand here is first you have to identify the research problem. For that you have to do the literature review, reviewing the available publication, understand the available knowledge in the related area. We call literature review. After the literature review, you can understand research problem or research question, and then objectives should be identified and proposal writing, and then follow the methodology, and ultimately make the conclusion and then publish it. Right. So we mentioned the term literature review. So then you should know what is a literature. What is literature? So literature, so we can define in many ways. So I have simplified here. Published writings on a particular subject or topic. Right. Now our example is, say, single dose inhaler. There are different types of inhalers, multi dose and single dose. So our subject or the topic is inhaler. So then what is literature review? What is literature related to that area? Published writing on inhalers. Published writings on inhalers are literature related to the topic. So if you want to develop a new inhaler, published writing on that area, inhaler related area, is called the literature of that topic. So those literature are available as journal publication, conference proceedings, or books, or book chapters. Book chapters, right? So journal, conference, or book chapters, or sometimes research reports, right? So journal publication, conference proceedings, books. I think most of you have in Moro tour, if you are in the second batch, you have started the research, then you should have an idea about what is journal publication, what is conference. But I will explain probably later what is a journal publication, what is a conference, and what is a book. For the moment, consider these as publications, right? So in a research process, process, when you study, you have to do literature review. So then we are discussing about what is literature. Literature is a published writings which are available as journal publication, conference proceeding, books, book chapters, or research reports. Why we want to do literature review? So we want to identify in the particular area, particular topic, what has been done. So our example is inhaler, say single dose inhaler. So inhaler, what are the available inhalers? So in the available inhalers, what is the flow? Whether those inhalers can mix the medication properly. What are the shapes and sizes? What type of patient those inhalers can be used? So likewise, available knowledge you have to explore. So in order to explore available knowledge, you should know or you should do literature review, right? So yeah. So we'll take this space. So you have a target. What is your target? Develop a inhaler. Develop an inhaler which has a proper medication mixture and proper flow. And then if you go to the history and now you are in this place and your target is this one, right? So why we do literature review? So this is from the history, right? History, what has been done in this area. So you have, imagine now you have your target, developing this kind new inhaler which has a proper medication mixture and also proper flow. So you have to locate your research in this timeline. You have the target, now you are in here. What has been done previously you can identify. If you have your imagination or target, so your idea, your concept, so then what needs to be done? To be done. you can identify. If you know the target, if you do the literature review, what has been done and what needs to be done can be identified. What has been done is explored from the literature, right? So say this circle represent your idea of your target or your idea of the inhaler. So inhaler probably so this direction shows the inhaler medication mix and flow, and then sizes, right? So this is your plan is to have a proper flow, this much of one, and medication mixture proper one. But when you do the literature review, you can understand the flow in that flow of the flow inside the inhaler. So up to this level, it has been developed. Medication mixture up to this level is now developed. Sizes can be reduced. Your target is this one, but up to this level, it has been developed. Likewise, so you can understand this is the current development, what has been done. So your target is this one. So then you can identify this kind of a gap, right? This kind of a gap. Even in the mixture, medication mixture, there is a gap. So proper mixture is not there. So you can do some work in this area. Even in the flow, there is a gap. Your target, your idea or your concept or your target, and then the existing one. Sizes, also there is a gap. Right, so these are actually not actual one, right? I have just taken example. Sometimes the flow is proper one, so you flow you might not have a gap. So I just have taken a hypothetical example, right? So that gap is called the research gap. What you expect, your target. So here I have taken this one line, one kind of a line, right? Here I have taken one line. So target have flow, medical mixture, sizes, other factors can be there, right? Right. So your target is there. This is the current development. There is always gap. So you can fill this gap. In order to fill that gap, you can do research. In order to identify this gap, you have to do a literature review. What is literature? Published writing, journal, conference, books. Right. So literature review is important. In the research, literature review is important. Even in you want to do a project, sometimes you have to do literature review to identify existing knowledge, what has been done previously. Literature review helps researchers to efficiently retrieve an adequate amount of scholarly literature and then critically evaluate database and conceptual material. Likewise, there are different advantages of literature review. Right. So then we will, what is the time now? It's late. So we will discuss about research writing. So what we did was initially we started from research and project, and we define project and then research, and then what is research, type of research, and then in order to publish a research, you should have originality. So then we define originality with characteristics of scientific research because we are using scientific research, and then research process. In the research process, literature review is very important thing. Therefore, we discuss about literature review, and then even after the literature review, you have to follow the methodology and then derive the conclusion and then publish. Right. write the literature review report or the output of the research. Right. So then we will go to the research writings. Research writings, research related writings, we can categorize mainly into three. One is at the initial phase of the research, and then during the research, and then completion of the research. Initiation of the research or project, we can have research proposal or project proposal. If it's a project, it's project proposal. So now in your case, you will stop at this point in this completion. During the research, usually we can write research progress reports. Publication during the research we can do. And completion of the research publication. Research publication, different types are available. So research writings at the initial of the research, initial phase, research proposal during the research. So these are just some examples, right? Research proposal at the initial stage, during the research progress reports, and completion, research publication. So usually things that we write after the completion of the research, we call the research publication. Even during the research, sometimes we prepare publications, but usually at the end, research publications are produced. So then research publication, different types are available. Journal articles, conference papers, thesis, scholarly books or book chapters, research reports. So this is at the end of the completion of the research publication. So in your case, at the initial phase of the research, just to give the idea. So you will do the research proposal, 5 to 10 page, right, in your comparison. So research publication, journal articles, conference papers, thesis, scholarly books, book chapters, research reports. What is a journal article? If you complete the research, if you could find new things, you publish those in a journals. So then what is the difference between journal article and conference papers? Conferences usually happens annually or sometimes biannually. Now if you want to publish your paper or research finding in a conference, you have to submit it into the conference. Different type of conferences are available. Even in Morocco, we have different types. In even Colombo also, they have different types of conferences. Thesis are at the end of a research degree. What is produced, we call thesis, or sometimes we call dissertations. And research finding we can publish as a research scholarly book or scholarly book chapters. Scholarly means scholarly finding of research, right? Scholarly work are usually research work. Scholarly book, research finding, published as a book. And textbooks, you know what is the difference between scholarly book and textbooks? Textbooks, if you want to study some in one or several modules, if you want to study something, we use textbooks in your university studies. So if you want to study about the cardiovascular system, so you will take a book related to that we call the textbook. But scholarly book, if you do a research, from the research finding, if you publish a book, we call it scholarly book. So what happens is usually scholarly book becomes standard books and then it goes as a textbooks. Initially, those are scholarly books. And then research reports. Right. So then journal articles are the comprehensive article related to your research. Conference papers at the different milestone of your research, you can publish conference papers. Right. So then, what are the main content of? We will. I will show you some example of journal article, conference, and book chapters. But before that, we will go to main content of research publications. So if it is a journal paper, conference paper, or even research report, it should have a topic. One example: development of a increased flow multi-dose inhaler. Development of a upper limb prosthetic device. Likewise, there should be a topic, and then authors and affiliation. If I am the author, so I can write my affiliation as well. Department of Medical Technology, Faculty of Medicine, University of Morocco. Likewise, affiliation, authors, and then abstract. Abstract is a summarized form of your research and research finding and research result. And then introduction of your research and literature review. What is the methods? What are the methods you have carried out in order to do the research? And then results and conclusion and discussion and references. References are the literature that you have used for your work. Right. So those are the main content of a research publication. Right. So then research publication should have key characteristics. Originality should be there. There should it should include correct information. Clear and focused objective should be there. Clarity and coherence. Ethical standards should be followed. So if you are carrying out human or animal related research, so then you have to get the ethics approval, and you have to follow ethical standards while you are writing the publication as well. And correct language should be used and create an impact. The publication should create an impact. So those are the key characteristics of publication. So when you write your proposal as well, try to incorporate original idea, and the proposal should have correct information. Clear and focused objective should be there. Usually objective we mention that objective should be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, result oriented, time bounded. Right? Smart objective should be smart. And clarity should be there, coherent. So the proper flow should be there, and follow the ethical standards. So when you do your work, if you want to get ethics approval, you have to go to the ethics committee of the medical faculty, one of the medical faculties. If you probably at the proposal stage you might not require, but if you want to move forward after the proposal stage, you have to get the ethical approval. And correct language should be there in your proposal. So those are the key characteristics of the research publication, as well as in your case your proposal. In addition to there are other things as well. So these are key characteristics, right? That's why I have used key. Right. So then find a venue to publish. So in your case, you don't want to have a venue, but if you do a research and then if you want to find place to publish, what you have to do is, if it is a kind of a journal paper, you have to go for different journals, right? So, or you can search in the publishers. So now medical related one, you can get search in the PubMed. And IEEE Explorer also, there are medical related journals. EMBS also, there are medical related journals. In the conference, IMBS conference are always medical related. And also, in order to find the literature as well as the publishers and journals, you can use different search engines. You can use Google Scholar. And again, IEEE Explorer, PubMed, as well as you can use, in order to find the literature or the related publishing journals, you can use Dimensions. These are AI tools, right? Dimensions, dimensions.ai. And you can use Semantic Scholar. Likewise, different search engines and databases you can use to find the venue to publish. All right. When you find the venue to publish, based on your research, the research keyword is important. Based on the keyword, so you have to find in these databases. So then we will go to sample publications. Right. So we discuss about conference papers. So this is a conference paper, right? So I mentioned there should be. Can you see the shared screen?
No, sir.
No, I will reshare. Right. Right. Okay. Right. I hope you can see now. Right. Okay. This is a conference paper. So at the top you can see the conference name. 2070's Third International Conference on Control, Automation and Robotics. So the year is given, and then conference name is given, and then topic. Prosthetic hand with self-adaptive fingers. And then authors' names and affiliations are there. And then, as I have mentioned, you can see the abstract is given. Abstract is summary, what is available in the paper and what has been done in that research. And then keywords, or sometimes we call index terms, are there. And then introduction. Right? And then in this case, this is a prosthetic development. So its details are there, design, and then now this is the one finger mechanism, how fingers are arranged, and kinematic analysis. Likewise, materials and methods related to this project is given. And then in order to prove this device can carry out the intended tasks, experimental results have been carried out. Those are presented. And then the conclusion. And then the acknowledgement and references. Those should be there in research publication. In your case also, the proposal also, I will separately show you the proposal, one of the proposals. This is a conference paper. So references should be there. And then we'll take a journal paper. So what you see now is a journal paper, IEEE Access. IEEE Access, right, you can see now. IEEE Access is an open access journal. Open access means um, author has to give pay the article processing charge to publish this, but readers can directly download and read the article. So in this case also, journal name is there and the topic and author's names, author's affiliation. You can see author's affiliation. This is the topic, author's names, affiliation, and abstract. Index terms or keywords, then introduction. So in a journal paper, usually volume number is there. This is volume 5. Conference papers, usually we don't have volume numbers. And then introduction, and then these are the previous work related to this prosthetic device, transhumeral. So you know what is transhumeral. The amputation is between uh, shoulder and elbow. Transhumeral prosthetic. This is previous work for the literature. Likewise, different components are there, and then the material and methods, and develop prosthetic device, and then related mathematics and experiment and results are there. These are the experiment and results. And then at the end, conclusion. And sometimes you use write the future work as well, conclusion. And then if you have the appendices, you can include those. If not, then you have the references. So references, there is a way you have to use the references. In your proposal also, I think you have to include the references. There are different methods. So this one is IEEE referencing method. So in the University of Morocco, we use IEEE, I think in the medical faculty, IEEE and Vancouver. Oh, Harvard, I think Vancouver. So in your case also, you have to give the referencing method. In the proposal format, you have to give the referencing method. Just 5 to 10 pages is not sufficient. You have to give a template for the participants or the competitors. Right. So then, so that is journal paper, and then we will go to a book chapter. So this is a book chapter. This is chapter 5 of that book. Application of surface electromagnetic signal to control exoskeleton robots. So again, topic, authors, affiliations are there, introduction, and then literature and experiment, results. So these are the experiment and the results, different muscles locations, the analysis of results. These are surface EMG signals. And then ultimately a conclusion and acknowledgement and references. So in this case, I think this is but anyway, this is not IEEE. So different type of method are used for recursive. Right. So then this is a book chapter, and this one is a proposal. So this is a one-page proposal. You can see the share file. Um, right. So this is a one-page proposal, MPhil or research proposal. So in your case also, research topic is there, introduction, objectives, methodology, resource requirement. I don't know whether in your competition format it should be there, but anyway, you should give the competition organizer should give a template. Otherwise, just 5 to 10 pages is not sufficient information to write a proposal. Right. So this is a research proposal, one-page one. So the concise one. Objectives, aim, it includes research topic, introduction, and at the end of the introduction, aim is there, and then objectives and methodology. Right. So then that's in the first slideshow. I have another slideshow which explain. So we can go up to 8:45, right? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Right. So then I'll try to finish before 8:45, and then if you have any question, you can ask. Right. So this is specifically yeah. Specifically, this slide specifically discuss about research proposal, how to write research proposal, right? So here I have 19 or 18 slides. So we'll discuss what is design research proposal, design or research proposal. So then tips for effective proposal writing, content of the project or research proposal, sample proposals. So sample proposal, I showed one, and then additional reading. All right. So then now in your case, you ask in the competition MedX ideation, you ask about the problem statement, methodology, conclusion, and comparison. Right. But in the design or research project, in the proposal, we can include first three in the proposal. Definition of a problem or question, design problem or research problem. And then what has already been done, we called it as literature. Design of experiment to address the problem or the methodology. Those should be included in the research proposal. And then experiments, and then analysis of results and conclusion, those are not in the proposal. Proposal is developed at the initial stage, right? So these things are carried out when you do the research. So what is design or research proposal? Now in your case, what you have to write is the project proposal. Research or design proposal is a description of the proposed research project. In your case, propose ideation, say project. So which gives the which outline the your entire design or research process, and which gives the information about the topic, and then it has introduction, and then it has uh, methodology, and also scope of the project is defined. Then you should know what is scope, what you will cover during your research is the scope. Say one example. So that previous example, inhaler, different type of inhalers are available. We will focus only on single dose inhaler for say adults, used for adults. Likewise, you have to you can limit single dose adults, and if sometimes you can limit for this kind of medication. Likewise, you can give the boundary of your work, of your research or design, that we call the scope. So the research or design proposal is a written submission to spell out the logic, format, nature of design or the research. It contains specific information related to your design or research. Right. Usually, research project proposal should have what you plan to accomplish, aim and objectives. Aim and objectives are two different things. Aim is the main one, and in order to achieve the aim, you might have different objectives. So aim, one aim, in order to achieve aim, you might have three objectives. Aim is broader than the objectives. Objectives are specific. And then project proposal should, research proposal should include why you want to do that, motivation of the research plan, and how are you going to do it. Methodology should be there. Right. So why we write this? Sometimes if you want to meet the specific requirement of reader and audience, we might include additional details. So in your case, in this ideation, so you ask the problem statement, methodology, comparison, and conclusion. So usually these three, but based on the requirement of reader or the audience, there might be different additions into the project proposal. Right. Why we need these proposals? In order to acquire funding, obtain approval of the prospective research. So in order to get the approval of your cognitive medicine research, you want to write a research proposal and obtain the eligibility of a research degree and to formally begin your research work. You need research proposal. So in this case, MedX ideation proposal should be there. So in order to write proposal effectively, you should critically think about your objectives, aim, and even the methodology as well. And then you have to identify the proper research problem in order to your study. And you have to define your scope. What are the boundaries of your, demarcate your boundaries. Right. So then, so these are the content of project proposal. I mean, as I have mentioned earlier also, in your case also, so you have mentioned in the guidelines, I think the document that I received, 5 to 10 page report, right? That is, I think, not sufficient. If you want to evaluate this, the organizer should give clear format. Usually, project proposal should consist a topic or the title, detail of researchers, problem statement, which is included in your one as well. If you can subdivide your problem, that can also be included. Keywords or your terminology, literature, scope, demarcation of the terrain or the scope, and important indication, and then aim and objectives and time scale. In some projects, there's a budget and resource required. So the previous one-page document, it includes resource requirement, resource list. Some case budgets are required. And sometimes, if it is a project proposal, time scale should be there, time schedule. Right. So these are some of the additional details. Cover page, in the introduction, problem statement, sub-problem, terminology. Likewise, you can categorize each part. This is in the cover page. These three in the introduction. But these things, cover page, introduction, those are based on the template you will receive. If it is a research proposal to be submitted to a university, they will give the template. Even in University of Moratuwa, we have a template. So based on the template, you have to write. So this is summary of the report or the proposal. Introduction, context, design, research gap, aim, objectives, methodology, work plan, budget, and references should be there. So some budget is not included. Sometimes work plan also not included. But usually these should be there. Right, then what is introduction? What should be included in the introduction? Clear statement of research problem. It should be clear and concise, understandable. Proper language should be used. Proper flow should be there in the introduction. And your terminology should be defined. Important terms. Sometimes abbreviations are also defined. Right, so that is in the introduction. And then context, your background of the research, and brief literature review, application of your terrain. So in the previous example, if you use research related to the inhalers, whether the inhalers for adults or pediatric or the single dose, multi-dose, likewise, you can define your scope. Right. And then research gap. So we discussed about the gap. Gap your target, and what has been done here. So then what needs to be done is the gap. Target. Now in this space, what needs to be done? So research gap actually creates the originality or the novelty or novel contribution of your research. So based on the novel contribution, we can define whether your research problem or the research gap is important or not, significant or not. And then aim and objective should be there. Aim is where I want to be. So this is the aim, right? One place. But objectives, in order to achieve this aim, you have to ascend this ladder steps, right? So these are your objectives. Where you want to be is the aim, objectives, how you are going to achieve it for the milestone. Objective should be SMART. So that we discussed earlier as well. SMART, S is specific, objective should be specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic, or sometimes we call the result oriented, and T is timely or time bounded. Right. So these in your case also, so this objective should be SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bounded. Right. So this is what Craig Miyamoto has mentioned. Think of the goal or the aim as the treasure at the top of the stairways in here, and the objective as the stairs. Objective as the stairs. Right. Aim versus objectives. Aim broad, general intention, intangible, abstract, cannot be validated as is. Objectives specific, narrow, precise, tangible. Likewise, there are characteristic of aims and objectives. In order to achieve aim, you need to have several objectives. Objectives are specific. And then you need to have a methodology, how questions, answer how questions, how to do this, how to design the single dose inhaler, how to get the dimensions of the single dose inhaler, how to verify the flow, how to mix the medication inside. Likewise, how questions give the methodology. So in your proposal also, the methodology is an essential component. It should be there, right? So then work plan or the Gantt chart. Research usually rough one is there, but project clear timeline or work plan should be there. And then references. What are the literature use? Right? What are the literature you use? And references are directly what you have used your proposal. Bibliography is the additional reading. Sometimes these two terms vaguely used, but references are the best term to use for the literature. Bibliography are additional reading. References, different methods are available. APA, Harvard, Vancouver, IEEE style of referencing. So in your case, I don't know, you remove this. You have to use based on your guidelines. References, in order to manage references, there are different citation managers. So they don't refer likewise. So probably when you do the community medicine research, so they will educate this. Even in more of those students, medical technology research, you will have to use one of these citation managers. Right, so these are some additional reading related to research proposal writing. Right, so that's all. So if you have any question, we can discuss.
Thank you, sir. Participants have posted a number of questions. The first one would be, what is the impact of using AI-generated content in a paper?
All right, so then AI-generated content, I can remember when the ChatGPT comes in last year, some papers, the one author is ChatGPT. So if I am the author, my names are Ruwan Gopura and ChatGPT. So previously, ChatGPT on some of those journals they allowed, but usually AI generated content is not allowed now. Right? In your case also, in these proposals, I think you have to consider that. So AI generated content should not be allowed. AI generated content can be used to get some knowledge, but you have to use those carefully. Now, previously, if you do not have like generative AI like ChatGPT, what we did was we search in Google. So now what has happened is the OpenAI make our life easy by giving exact information based on our coding, right? But AI generated content should not be used, so they are not allowed now. In order to write your work, you can get help, but directly those should not be included in your publication or your research report, even in your assignments. If you get caught, then there will be issues. Because now in different plagiarism checkers like Turnitin, we have at Moroto Turnitin, they are including AI content detectors as well, right? So therefore, you should not use those, and there are rules and guidelines developing to not to use these things directly in your publication, but you can get information from those uh, systems or tools, right?
Yes. The next question is, if I conduct a research on the correlation between two variables, how many data points are needed to prove the correlation?
So that's depend on your research, right? Um, Sometimes, so there are ways to analyze. Statistical analysis methods are available to determine number of data points, right? Now, if I want to say, I will take one example. We are developing prosthetic devices and exoskeleton robot. Exoskeleton robot is an external structural mechanism with joints and limbs. We can wear those robots. If I develop a robot and if I want to show that the robot can be properly used to a person, I want to do experiment with that robot, particular number of subjects, right? Say, in order to show that robot is feasible or suitable for the person, I might have to use 5 subjects or 10 subjects. The number can be decided using statistical. Statistical significance of the result can be verified, and P power. I think you don't know those content, but there are methods. Statistically, we can define number of data points required to decide the correlation. That depend on the research, right? I cannot say exactly 2 points are required, sufficient, but based on the research, you have to statistically find the number, right?
The next question is, sir, what defines a strong research question and how to identify it?
Say it again.
What defines a strong research question and how to identify it?
That's kind of a difficult question to answer. That again, based on the area it's defined. So, what defines strong research question? Um, Actually, when you uh, identify research question or specifically research gap, its significance is the main thing that can be identified as it's a strong one. Significance, right? Some problems are there. Those are problems, but which cannot give impact to the society. Which cannot give impact to the society. Which cannot give impact to the research community. Which cannot give impact to the people. Right? If your research question or research gap is significant, which can give impact to the society, your research community, or the people, or even if it is related to animal, that living beings, there is an impact, positive impact. Right? Those kind of research question can be considered as a strong research question. So the important thing is significance of the research. Significance of the research question. Based on the significance, you can identify which has a strong research question. Significance, how to identify the significance from the research? What is the impact to the community, research community, society, or even the living being? So that is one way to identify whether the research question is strong.
Yes. And the next question is, sir, how we clarify the novelty of the research?
Yeah, so novelty, so actually it's the terms I use vaguely sometimes. So what I have given as the originality there can be considered, right? Right. So the novelty, what are the new things, right? What are the new things available in the research? What are the new findings? So the originality I have given here can be considered as novelty. Saying something nobody has said before. Carrying out empirical work that has not been done. Synthesizing something that has not been put together before. Likewise, there are different points are there. So if any point is there in your research, so that can be considered as novel, new thing. So taking an existing techniques and applying to a new area. Likewise, if you can derive a new conclusion, if you can get a new results, so there is a novelty in your work. So if you can go through these points which define the originality, which actually define the novelty of your work.
Yes, sir. And the final question is, what are some references I can use to learn about the research methodology, including data collection procedure, data analysis, and related statistical tests?
Right. So I have given some, so I can say exactly these are the things. So I have given two, which includes mainly the research proposal writing, which includes data analysis as well. In addition to that, if you need a book, so these are some books, right? Research methods, the basics, developing effective research proposal. The second one gives the research methodology. In addition to this, if you go to the different databases, so search engines like IEEE Explorer, PubMed, and even in the dimension.ai, you can find different resources, literature, right? In addition to that, these two books are some of the good books that I have used. Right. In addition to, you can find a lot of even a lot of short videos are available related to research methods as well.
Thank you very much, sir. With that, we conclude our Q&A session. On behalf of the MedX23 Organizing Committee, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Professor Ruwan Gopura, for sharing his valuable insights and expertise with our participants. Sir, we appreciate the time and effort you dedicated to making this event a success. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and making our event truly special. And with that, we conclude the third and the final workshop in the Tech in Medicine series. We express our sincere appreciation to all the participants who actively engaged in the workshops and demonstrated remarkable enthusiasm from the very beginning. We believe the knowledge you acquired from our workshop series will empower your journey through the ever-evolving field of medical technology, and we are excited to witness the groundbreaking projects that would undoubtedly emerge at MedX23 from this collective experience. As we draw the curtains to our workshop series, we kindly remind you to seize the moment and submit the proposal of your innovative idea for MedX23. For MedX proposal submission, we will be providing the participants with the proposal template along with the guidelines. This is your chance to revolutionize the modern healthcare field for greater good. We would also like to emphasize that the winners of MedX will journey onwards to Brainstorm 24, Sri Lanka's premier healthcare innovation competition. Here, your unique idea will move from the conceptual stage and come into life as a tangible prototype crafted by the skilled competitors of the Brainstorm. This is Isiri Vithanavasam, your host for the day, signing off. Once again, thank you and have a good night.